everyone. Good evening. It's not really evening yet, but it's closing in on it. Nice. We need to get up the fish. Weapons, adamant. Blocks. Okay, so that's... do that one. What is our efficiency? It's 1. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely horrible. Okay. So, what was it we said we're going to do today? We have two options, Dragonus or inside a ship. And for me personally, I think it's leaning towards Dragonus.
(20 to 23).
Okay. No. No, no, no. We are going inside the ship. That's where we're going. We need to do the blood spinner quests and stuff like that, yeah. Back to the bridge. Back to the bridge. So we are going to the Astropathic Chapel. We have a few things here. I want to talk with the character though. The Astropath.
Alas, your lordship, the sacred machine is still deaf to the Engine Seer's ministrations.
How fascinating. To me, the Immaterium is made of colors, but to the astropaths who dwell in this chapel, it is music.
Cursed music.
The machine uses its many
Why
quills
do
to
the
commit the
astropaths
astropath's
fill
whispers
this
to
place
paper,
with
then
litanies
sorts the
in
resulting
his
raw
name
mental images
instead?
based on their meaning.
Only hours.
But speaking cannot save from the 13 stars, lap's beloved father. Is yawning Ma. Anything more? Living inevitable of the boundless sunset comes horrific sunrise brought forth into veiling world. That's not good.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Bridge Technomat. Okay. Okay. Do the Astropath we go.
Once the text is ready for final interpretation, the compiler sends it to the choir master along with a list of meanings for the known images.
Okay. Signa.
Protect us from the machine spirit's unrest, for without his gifts our sacrifices are fruitless.
You can barely hear the
Okay.
voice of the young astropath standing very still next to the bulky mechanism, his face frozen in a mask of despair. His anemic hands are pressed to his chest, clutching crumpled strips of thick paper. He hears you approach and composes himself. The engineer, his head lowered, does not so much as glance in your direction. With his hands folded underneath his robe, he makes a barely audible, unpleasant sound, a prayer in Technolingua.
Why are you all crowded next to this thing?
The astropath grows pale.
Apologies, your lordship. It's a regrettable necessity. The sacred compiler is ailing, your lordship. A gloom has come over the machine spirits, and they are disrupting the mechanism's operation. The 12th row of the drum is now adding incorrect symbols.
The man shows you a stack of papers, and you notice at once that the rows of squiggles in each line all end with the same GLYPH.
We summoned the servants of the Omnissiah, but the machine spirits are none too eager to heed their prayers. The esteemed engine seer is in a state of tech prayer trance and hasn't moved from the spot for a day now.
He shrinks his head into his shoulders timidly.
I had the audacity to think the sacred compiler could be better helped by examining its parts, but who am I to question the secret knowledge of the Adeptus Mechanicus? Unit Sigma AR-87 is currently in a tech trance of shared comprehension with the spirit of the Archaeotech device catalogued under the name of Stream Spindle. Disturbing the unit is not recommended.
Pasquale falls silent for a few seconds.
However, a preliminary diagnostic has revealed several algorithmic faults that are in conflict with the sacred mechanism's processes. A practical intervention into certain cycles will likely aid the release of the accumulated burden.
Let us see if there's any way I can help.
Once clean of the candle wax that had seeped inside, the inner workings of the interpreter move much more easily. Scraps of paper are stuck deep inside the mechanism, causing it to rattle terribly. Cleaning the machine's parts and anointing them with sacred unguent restores the machine to its clear, clanging voice. The sensors of the text-correcting calibrator are dead. A prayer to the Omnissiah makes the new sensors spring to life.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Praise be to the machine god.
Okay, let's talk to... I don't know what his name is.
Choir Master Zachary Weiss, a tall old man in a long green robe, stands motionless in front of a cogitator. The closer you approach, the clearer you can hear his continuous unintelligible whisper. You are about to call his name when he falls silent sharply and turns toward you first.
Lord Captain. A visit from the rogue trader is an honor for us.
Like other astropaths at the chapel, the choir master's eyes are bandaged over with time-worn scrolls of sacred manuscripts. Nevertheless, you cannot shake the feeling that his otherworldly glowing gaze is studying you keenly.
How can I be of use, your lordship?
Sanctioning is a brutal procedure, one which robs every astropath of the gift of sight. But in return, they gain a new kind of vision that allows them to see what ordinary people cannot.
Have you made any confessions lately?
The choir master replies, slightly perplexed.
I beg your lordship's pardon?
The order on the ship have already been provided with bare essentials, have they not?
I suppose you have a better idea of that than I do. It is something I have never thought about before and on which I hardly have an opinion worth sharing, Lord Captain.
Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living?
How odd.
He grimaces, as though with pain.
Odd that you should have listened to my confession, and odd that you should choose to approach me afterward. Why?
I was worried the maker of the confession might be dangerous. Explain yourself.
One can never be too prudent, I of all people should know that. Thank you for your vigilance. I must give more thought to what I can do for the living. That is the best way to repay one's debt to the dead, if indeed it is at all repayable. Death always keeps close to astropaths, and its punishments for arrogance and weaknesses are severe. I
Yeah,
have seen my fellows die, and at times the memories are exceedingly hard to bear. Sadly, almost every choir has a story like that, and a survivor who has carried their ghosts with them ever since.
Weiss lets out a ragged breath.
My apologies, but I cannot continue worrying at these old wounds. Directing a choir requires a clear and firm state of mind.
I have witnessed the death of one of your astropaths. What's happening?
The choir master sighs and makes the sign of the Aquila.
May the God Emperor rest his soul and protect him from the ruinous power's tenacious claws. That was the 5th one this month. Our younger voices cannot handle the warp storms raging in the expanse, and end up losing their minds.
He adds, barely audibly.
If they are lucky. Something is afoot on the other side of the maw, Lord Captain. Something infinitely sinister. Something disastrous. The scraps of mental images that reach us from the Imperium carry the mark of doom. The images emanating from there are like a beast baring its teeth.
You have heard accounts of disturbances in the warp affecting psychers, especially astropaths, who delve most deeply into the Immaterium. But there have been more and more alarming stories of late. Something is raging in the warp, something that poses a particular threat to those with psychic powers.
That noise inside the chapel, does it not bother you?
On the contrary, Lord Captain. It is a mental focusing technique used by your flagship's choir, one that I invented myself. This music was written by an astropath. What my charges and I hear in it is not what ordinary people hear. Its true depth and beauty cannot be fathomed without the Emperor's blessing. The music protects our minds from rudimentary thoughts, purifies, and sharpens them. But above all else, it serves as a beacon of sorts amid the tumultuous sea of souls, a thread to lead us home from the deadly maze.
We will talk later, Choir Master. I have business to attend to.
Goodbye, Your Lordship.
The
Okay.
choir master follows you with his otherworldly glowing gaze as you leave, then turns back to the cogitator. The transcriber's quills are leaving blots on the paper. You remove the device's casing and discover a leaking ink supply hose.
We leveled up, nice.
Your Lordship.
The astropath smiles at you. The shy, awkward smile of someone unused to smiling.
The sacred mechanism is working again with no disruptions.
With a trembling hand, the psyker hands you a strip of paper with smooth rows of etched characters, this time containing no errors. The engineer rises proudly to his feet and says in Low Gothic, a language he clearly has not had much practice in.
With sacred words and virtuous thoughts turned toward the machine god, I have been able to pacify this mechanism's wayward spirits. The Omnissiah blesses.
I should rather say it was my efforts that helped the machine be operational.
The engineer eyes you respectfully but with very sincere and poorly concealed confusion.
I recommend installing 2 incense-burning units in this compartment to prevent the spirit's continued anger. The unit Zachary Wise will be provided with a list of minor recommendations, 142 in total, for improvements to this compartment's maintenance. Failure to implement will result in sanctions on the part of the Adeptus Mechanicus priesthood.
The Divine watches over us.
Okay, what's going on? Even the bird got bored. Oh. Once the machine is able to purely... Okay.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Say what Zachariah we needed to go to.
Your Lordship, I have something for you.
The choir master hands you a sheet of paper with uniform lines of machine type etched into it.
Thanks to your assistance in repairing the compiler, we have been able to interpret a most curious message. It contains a call sign that agents of the Renegade Voigtver used in their especially important reports.
Could it be a message from Voigtver?
He was more likely the intended recipient.
When was the signal sent?
I cannot say with certainty, Your Lordship. Following the repair work, I went through texts that had defied decoding before. This signal had lost its way in the bowels of the mechanism. It could be a week old, or years.
What does the message say?
Only a few words. Lilumd. Odinithus 11. The wines have ceased. It is done now. Lilumd is Voigtver's call sign for special reports, but the rest is a code we are unfamiliar with. That said, we know where to look for the truth, the Odinithus 11 system. I have no doubt of that, your lordship.
Okay.
Goodbye, your lordship.
The choir master
No,
follows you
Your
with his
Duty.
otherworldly glowing gaze as you leave, then turns back to the cogitator.
Ballistic skill, yep. Summary execution. When the commissar is adjacent to an enemy, all their allies gain. Okay. Weapon. That is a solid projectile. I like that one. Two plus minimum damage. Okay. I don't think that's the way to go for it, honestly. Never stop believing. When all the stacks of never stop shooting should be lost, they become 15 instead. Additionally, a Fortress World character may upgrade their willpower characteristics if their current archetype do not allow it. Okay. At the end of their turn, Fortress World characters stack never stop shooting equal to half the minimum of the most damaging range. I think familiar kickback is worth it. Yep. Strength. Melee weapon specialist. Shove ability and axe. Shove ability on hammers or maces cost -1. I think that one's actually the one to go for, honestly. Perception. Agility? Perception. Stuff stacks with perception for her, so I think perception is the way to go with it, honestly. Under... Imperial World character gain 10% crit chance and 10% armor against Xenos and demonic creature. Their allies gain half the bonus of No Heresy. Imperial World characters' lore of Xenos and War are always 0. I think that's just a solid one for you, honestly. -100. Okay, yeah. Perception. Navigator, start all turns including this turn with additional free movement points. First ally targeted by Navigator with a single target ability. Okay. Pump up her awareness even more. Yeah. Kibella. Agility? Yeah. Be smart. Bloody mess. Using a non-damaging ability on an ally, grant the ally the ability to reroll any failed dodge. Jinx, while Woolbone has 50. Crimson Tide. Blood Dance. Deal more damage to ally if both allies are in. Okay. Crimson. With Blood plus gain 1 stack. Whenever raining bloods inflict. Whenever it starts to turn blood covered. Dual combat now, where you're actually using one weapon on you. More movement speed? Yeah, more movement speed. Ballistic skill. Yeah. Steel Forge. Fires. Forge will character gain deflection against burning effect of weapons. Close-up scanning. Skirmish protocol. His melee attack deal additional 16 damage and gain. Demolition and tech use. Yeah, you know what? I think that's the way to go for it, honestly. We could go for melt-up proficiency, right? Expert melt-up, maximum damage. Nope. We're going for that. Okay, we are now going into the depths of the ship to find the spinners. Lord Captain, Freight Line, Void Shrine. We are going to Freight Line. Same team setup. Board ship is a city unto itself, inhabitants by thousands of people, most of whom disfranchised rabble.
Attention Freight Hub LD 987/A14. The Lord Captain is in the bay.
Okay. We are going this way. Oh, I forgot. It's here somewhere, right?
Let us walk this path to the end.
Break
Compared
that.
to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
A group of walkers are crowding around.
Watch the game.
Several workers empty their pockets and the rat squeaks excitedly and starts rolling the colorful balls the players have chosen around the maze of tunnels on the board. But not a single one reaches the goal, a hole marked with a red circle. The rat just rolls all the balls off the board or into dead ends. Once the first group of players get their hopes dashed and leave empty-handed, new workers immediately take their place.
Listen to the tune.
The rat's movements, from the flicks of its tail to when and where it pushes the balls, obey its master's wordless commands with uncanny precision. The notes, the pauses, the rhythm, every part of the melody serves as a signal to the flute player's tiny assistant. The rat scurries around the board, spurred on by the flute. Its movements appear erratic at first glance, but after a while, you notice how consistently the balls seem to miss the goal at the very last moment. While the rat's clumsy, amusing scampering distracts the spectators, its nimble tail directs the balls away from the hole.
You there, why are you idling about and distracting others workers?
The crowd, which has been too absorbed in the performance to notice your presence, turns to you, expressions of frightful awe appearing on the workers' faces. Many start whispering prayers. The man stops playing and shrugs, a guilty smile crossing his face.
I haven't had work for who knows how many watches now. And even if they did give me work, the enforcers would just rob me of my earnings afterward. So I found a calling after my own heart. I trade fortune for ration cards. The folks around here peddle away what little they have to spare, anyway, so why can't I?
The crowd echoes his words in cautious agreement.
Perhaps you would like to trade us some of that captain's fortune of yours, your lordship.
The flute player bows respectfully and gestures at the game board. The crowd buzzes with anticipation.
This is a curious-looking flute. How did you come by it?
He pats his instrument gently.
My mother loved music. She used to hum beautiful melodies to me, and when she passed away, I carved this flute from her hip bone and learned to play. Out of sorrow and respect for her memory.
I have one of the local favorites for me.
The flute player smiles mysteriously and brings the flute to his lips. A simple, brisk melody pours out of the instrument. The glum faces of workers and traders soften a little, and the tunnels around you seem less squalid than before. Long after the music has stopped, many continue to whistle the unassuming ditty. The flute player awkwardly adjusts the goggles on his forehead.
The story of a simple man from the lower decks, honest with himself and others. He risks his life to protect the oppressed from those corrupted by power. He takes from the rich and gives to the needy. He helps without asking anything in return. Nemesis, hero of tales, admired by children and grown folk alike.
By opposing legitimate authority, you vile Nemesis trampled on the creed, and everyone who glorifies him is a criminal. A fairy tale indeed, risking oneself for nothing. If such a man exists, he surely would be profiting from your misfortune in secret.
The people look at each other in shock upon hearing this unpalatable fact of life. Their joy evaporates, leaving only the bitterness of disappointment. The flute player smiles regretfully.
I think the song just died. But I won't despair. Life always suggests new melodies that people will like.
Yeah. Who are you?
I am but one of many.
The man gestures broadly at the teeming station.
A voice in the crowd. A cog in the mechanism. His humble servant. Flute player is all they call me, because that's what I am. I make up tunes and give the people respite after a hard day's work.
Okay.
Let the faith
So we got
guide
that
my
fixed.
path to glory.
Judging by the merchant's round, well-fed face, the rusty junk laid out on the counter is merely a smokescreen for the more valuable, and likely illegal, goods that are for now hidden from idle glances.
Can't really see anything there.
The base bulkhead is marred by traces of gunfire and rust-colored stains from old blood that was never properly washed off.
PSST, look over there. No, don't gawp. It's a rogue trader.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
A boot print has smudged this symbol slightly. The trail leads toward the slums.
He works hard. I helped out a friend with loading. He gave me some cards. Take them, exchange them for new shoes. Yours are well worn. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, that's taking 5.5 years. Ration packs. Ration packs.
The Emperor gave me a vision.
What advice do you seek?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Get out of the way. Ooh, goods. There's something up there. The where deals more damage to Xenos and demons if the where has conviction, a dogmatic, the double, 20% extra damage to demons and Xenos, yeah? That's actually fairly good.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Nothing. What do we have here? Nothing. That card.
Shreds of rat carcasses and yellow-green moss stew in the cloudy sludge, along with other, unidentifiable ingredients.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
The food vat is protected from the vicious hungry crowd by equally vicious thugs wielding makeshift weapons.
The day the Lord Captain wandered into our slum will be remembered in legends.
The broad-shouldered man raises a hand in greeting. His old prosthetic creaks plaintively as it takes the weight of his body.
The locals and the enforcers call me the foreman. I have no other name. You might say I'm in charge here, in this hole of a place.
You recognize the shaggy red beard and the keen black eyes. This is the man who was watching you during your encounter with the enforcer and the station worker.
You know what? Let's give him the ration cards.
He opens and closes his mouth in astonishment.
Lord Captain, you've just helped some good families survive. I'll divide the cards among them and be sure to tell them that it was your lordship who did them this good turn.
I saw you in the inner marketplace. What were you doing there?
Watching one of my workers take a beating. I feel sorry for the lad, but there was nothing I could do.
The foreman smiles wryly, showing his yellow teeth. Almost all of the front ones have been knocked out.
I've stuck my neck out in the past. Not doing it again.
I seek the Bloodspun Temple. Do you know where it is?
The cultists don't let people like me in on their rites and mysteries. I'm grateful to them for their service to the God Emperor, but, to be honest, I can't get behind their love of death. I'm much too fond of living.
What are you cooking in the vat?
Believe it or not, this soup made from mold slime and technical drain water has been simmering here in this vat for at least 200 years non-stop.
Oh my god.
See the growth on the walls over there? We harvest it, dry it, and use it to season the soup. If we're lucky, the smell attracts a void rat, and someone gets to have meat in their bowl.
The foreman points a finger proudly toward the vat.
It's for those who can't even earn a ration card. I feed them in exchange for services or favors. Sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. My people keep an eye out for workers trying to eat 2 bowls in one sitting. One is enough to fill your stomach for an entire watch. Some complain about the taste, of course, ingrates.
Give me some of that soup. Let my servants see that any food is a good blessing.
I don't think that's a good idea. Mold slime is something of an acquired taste. Takes 2 years, maybe 3 for your stomach to get used to it. Lord Captain, you must be joking, surely?
Pour me a bowl. I know what I'm doing.
As you wish.
The foreman hands you a bowl of hot, viscous sludge. The smell could be worse. Probably.
Probably.
I am going to be sick.
Substance analysis complete. The outlook is, dim. It is recommended that you dispatch authorized units to locate an appropriate successor.
With the first spoonful comes the immediate urge to regurgitate the disgusting sludge. The heave is followed by dizziness, yet you stoically persist and force a slimy chunk of something indeterminate down your throat. The crowd is gawking at you, wide-eyed.
Glory to the Emperor who nurtures us.
Your words echo in absolute silence, which lasts only a moment before the starving poor erupt into prayers to you and to him, tears glistening in their eyes.
The Lord Captain himself has tried our food and found it worthy. Remember to be grateful for any nourishment, as it is a blessing.
The foreman bellows and roars while discreetly interposing himself between you and the crowd of ecstatic commoners, who look like they might otherwise swarm and accidentally trample their overlord in a frenzy of adoration.
The divine watches over us.
Following the symbols will enable the proper categorization of a yet unregistered crew subdivision in the location of a yet unmapped compartment. Method approved.
The longer you stare at the mark, the quieter the sounds of the station become. The shadows grow longer and seem to stretch in the direction of the adjacent section.
What was that? What was that? What was that? Hype, newest, oldest. Crumpled scrap ornaments give you a gift of the one who sees nothing but hears everything. The truth will be revealed to you.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
I am registering sources of infection. Requesting contact with contaminated areas to be strictly prohibited.
The stench of decaying bodies creeps into your throat and lungs, forming a sticky film lining your airways.
Stop so bloody difficult. What's the thing that definitely your time has come? Okay.
With each step, I
The
forge
specimens
my
before you must be the
destiny
most
among the
repellent
stars.
inhabitants in the compartment. They are covered in sores and bald patches glistening with pus, and the stench of unwashed bodies brings a tear to your eye. One of them glowers at you and grunts.
Watch a want?
What are you, a mutant invalid?
Mold eaters. Outcasts. Folk who have no place even among the lowest of the low. Some were born that way, some were driven out to keep them from spreading the contagion. The foreman won't let us near the vat, the enforcers try to shoot us on sight. As if it's our fault that we were born in a terrible place. We are worms in the rotten belly of this ship, fodder.
The outcast licks his lips and you see a tongue studded with small, underdeveloped teeth. This is no disease, but an obvious mutation.
The ship will be a little bit cleaner without you.
The mutant bears the black stumps that are his teeth.
We'll gut you and trade what you have on you for a pile of scran. Hey, outcasts, come on up if you want to share in the spoils.
I will cast you into eternal darkness.
All of you will bleed!
Out of my way! Death to the weak! Through pain and hardship, we prove our devotion.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I will not be deterred.
And we'll switch to that.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? I
No.
am a navigator, not a servitor.
39 damage. Okay, fair enough.
I serve the ruinous powers! Chaos guides me.
Okay, so we start with... No. That. Okay.
Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it.
Okay. Good.
As the Emperor commands, I act. That is not the Emperor's will. I'll do it. As the Emperor
Reload.
commands, I act.
Slaughter. Oh.
Doubt is for the weak.
And so shall it be done.
Yay, and
I cannot comply.
obstructed vision.
The Emperor commands.
Oh.
And so shall it be done.
Okay,
Rejoice
good.
in service.
I am your blade and shield. The shadows will see it done.
Yay.
Blade whispers your name. I shall
That
not
should be
kill
enough.
one foe or 100. I will kill them all.
Okay, and we fall back here.
This goes against the tenets. I would that I could. Trust me. As the tenets demand.
Yep. You are going here, I guess, and
Victory
yes,
is
being a nuisance towards them. It's just those three there and those two back here. Okay, fair enough.
Explorers know one route. Forward.
I was going to say, didn't I pick that up? But yeah, I did.
I have read tomes of military tactics. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Oh, you're out of vision. Okay, fair enough.
If I may.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Come on.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
You missed.
Power
Yeah, screw
resides
that.
in the will of the righteous.
There's only two left.
As the Emperor commands, each strike is a prayer. I'll do it.
Chaos guides me.
I feel nothing. Fear nothing.
Doubt is for the weak.
Okay. And that is everything. Let's loot. Ooh, the bear, if they gain temporary wounds equal to the amount of inflicted collision damage. Okay,
Know your duty.
that could actually be cool. Fix it.
The machine gun grants me insight.
Nice. What is that?
Death hangs in the air within the pestilence pit, but it is not yet your time to go. Touch nothing unless absolutely necessary, Daemon Herald.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
We should deal with this.
Disarm.
Never doubt me.
Disarm.
The Emperor favors me today. Duty prevails.
Pascal, keep it up.
Unlocked.
Worn by a coat. Whenever the wear. Oh, there we have it. Oh, that we are. Worn by Death Cult when the wearer gains a blood stack. User loses all of their temporary wounds and increase melee damage by the same amount. Oh, okay, Bella, you got some upgrades. Agility bonus, retaliation? No, not really. Yeah, no, that's... Kybella is moving up in this world. She's becoming the death. Okay, so we got that. We have goods down here as well. Okay. Spent too much time in the pestilence by the void ship freight line. I was
Follow my steps.
I think there's an achievement not to remove that.
No one finds the courage to approach the bodies of these outcasts, their rotting flesh and cartilage bearing the marks of void disease. This man is tormented by some malady you cannot identify. This man is tormented by some malady you cannot identify.
Another step, another thread.
A figure in decaying tatters is rocking to and fro, muttering indistinctly in several different voices, occasionally breaking into hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to look at you. An ugly, rusted mask covers her face.
Are you here to take Zedna to the other side? No, 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 no. You're just wandering around in the dark, looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it?
There's a blood symbol next to you. I have seen such marks before. It was another part of the song of the... Is there another part of the song of the trailing blood?
Zdena bursts into hysterical laughter.
Oh yes. Oh yes, the song. Here, listen, listen.
The woman starts chanting hurriedly.
She wandered an eternity in dark, yet was consoled. Web foretold. Undying one's blood secrets glowed. A light to guide her faithful fold. But threads must end. And so the spider did that which was owed. Her life and death to ship bestowed.
She laughs again.
And you'll see if you learn to see. Look into the darkness, look, look.
Peer into the darkness, I cannot fathom what you meant to see in here.
You peer into the darkness, and are gradually able to make out the outlines of objects hidden in the shadows. Rotting corpses. Rough walls. The twitching death throes of infected people left here to die. You see no light in this place, only more darkness and despair.
You don't see, do you? You don't see.
Zdena shakes her head frantically and starts tearing off her rags. Strips of her decaying flesh peel off along with them.
You will not see until you become like Zedna. The flesh and blood of this ship.
What? Are you insane? Out of my sight.
Zdena breaks into hysterical laughter.
You'll be back. Everyone who's looking for something comes back. Or, do they? Why come back when you found what you were seeking?
The divine watches over us.
Yeah, I guess I need to talk to her again.
You're just wandering around in the dark.
Zdena bursts. She laughs again.
And you'll see if you learn to see.
How do
Look
I
into the
become
darkness. Oh, Zedna will show you. And you'll see the true light. Come. Come now.
Okay.
The rotating blades promise nothing but a senseless and brutal death. Slipping past them would require some unreasonably precise calculations. Or blind luck. While listening to the air currents, for a moment you think you hear Denna's whispered prayer rising from the depths of the shaft.
Dogmatic, pray to the Emperor if I put my life in thy hands, for I truly believe thou will
The
will
words
protect.
come easily, and all of your doubt fades away. Somehow, you know with certainty that your life will not end here.
A running start. Do a flip. For throne sense, come to your senses. Hello, Hogan. How are you?
Let us walk this path to the end. I shall repent. The burden of failure. Accomplished. Let the faith guide my path to glory.
And yeah, going down seems to be the... Oh.
There are large holes in the compartment ceiling. The spinners have dismantled the bulkheads to expand their temple ever higher. Tangles of improvised bridges constructed from beams and flooring stretch ever higher, not unlike a web. The temple is growing, as if it were a living organism.
I got lots of debuffs on me. I think Hugin is fucking amazing when it comes to it.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Underneath the ancient relic is a stone plaque with an inscription carved in elegant cursive. If you value life above duty, you are not worthy of life. Visiagia Franus.
Whenever the wearer makes a melee attack, they regain 1 wound.
5 generations of spinners have guarded this relic so that it may serve the worthiest of the Domini. Its time has come. The death cultist bows his head reverently.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Oh, that's the rest of the crew.
The strain has taken its toll.
A frail old man, grey beard tinged with blood, folds his wrinkled hands in a ritual gesture. His body is covered in scars, some old, some fresh. His eyes are sewn tightly shut. His mouth is cleft at both corners, making his jaws seem eerily snake-like.
And the Lord of the Ark walked the paths of unlife, in the footsteps of the web's very first spinner. And the servants of death bow before him, for the Daemon is the giver of life.
The old man goes still, his head turned to the side. He nods toward the temple's muffled silence.
Yes, yes, truth like a stream pours from your lips. We welcome him as the tenets demand.
Your hues are almost as pale as the gray of your beard. But, what is this?
Cassia flinches and takes a shuddering breath.
A scarlet whirlwind shines through the faded colors.
A thin blade appears in the old man's trembling hands. Although his arms are stiff and look like they can barely bend, in the next instant the dynasty's symbol is etched on his forehead, dripping blood. With a brief motion, he flicks the blood off his blade, and several drops land on your face.
The blood-spun web welcomes its new lord. I am the Vizier. For many years we have waited, and now you are here.
We have waited, whispers echo his words from the shadows.
What do you mean you've waited for many years? It's not long ago I made my acquaintance with the cult.
As I delve into my divinations from the flesh and blood of the departed ones, I turn to a relic most ancient and priceless. It is his tarot, inherited by the cult from the matriarch spider who spun the first thread. One of the readings I did back when I still had the strength to leave the temple and usher souls on their final journey. That was when, in the intricate tangle of destiny, I glimpsed our meeting. But when we would meet, alas, was not revealed to me. So we waited, year after year. And now the hour has come.
Why have you invited me here?
Death whispered your name and commanded us to honor you with a sacred ritual. But only inside the temple can the spinners perform it.
The Vizier is suddenly distracted by someone invisible, and nods toward empty space.
Yes. We are glad he has reached this place. We are glad to serve.
I have walked the path of the matriarch spider. What now?
The Song of Trailing Blood tells of a path fraught with trials. By accepting it and setting out on that path, you passed the first one, the trial of resolve. For not everyone is prepared to shun their fear and doubt and embark on a search for the unknown. A search for death. The trial of compassion was the second one. You passed it when you put yourself, albeit briefly, in the service of another soul, a man suffering from burns. For the choice between life and death is to be made only by those willing to take responsibility for the pain of another. The third was the trial of justice. In assuming the role of judge for an apostate of our faith, you declared your right to influence the balance of life and death that the errant soul had upset. And the fourth was the trial of duty, for duty always leads to death. We are prepared to render our duty to the Undying One, fearless and accepting of our purpose, which is to serve him. You, too, have proven yourself prepared, and the 4 trials have brought you here.
The path I walked has helped me understand myself better.
For the tenets teach us that the lesson learned is in itself the supreme reward for one who is open to self-discovery.
The Vizier's sewn-shut eyes seem to peer into your face, studying it. Then he turns away and speaks into empty space again.
Peace, my brother. The time has almost come.
Who is it you're talking to all this time?
The Vizier turns his head as if looking around the temple.
I see echoes of those who came before us and those who were with us, but have since crossed over to the other side. My brothers and sisters raised by the cult. I hear them from beyond their deaths. They share their wisdom. I heed them. The other spinners, they hear not, for that burden is mine to bear.
I see your eyes are sewn shut. Are you blind, or is that another cult ritual?
I was sighted for much of my life, until a disciple of mine violated the tenets and I realized just how blind I had been. A lesson, but a bitter one. To look with one's eyes alone is to be easily fooled, but the heart cannot be lied to. Such is the truth, and such was my choice. I sealed my eyelids with a gaze of true sight. Now I see more, and better.
So the entire conversation is another trial, another test, I imagine?
A smile graces the Vizier's bluish lips.
The tenets command us to be prepared for all trials, corporeal and spiritual alike. Are you prepared, Damin Herald?
His mouth closes, but you can still hear his whisper. A prickling sensation in your face is making you increasingly anxious. You raise a hand to your cheek, only to realize you can't feel it. You look at your palm and see a few smudged drops of blood from the Vizier's blade. A strange, serene calm envelops your body. Your fatigue subsides and you seem to float in the air, seeing things you had not noticed before, the shadows in the corners taking on shape and color. The subdued lumen light playing on the cultists' bone masks. Are they really masks? Their tall, lean, empty-eyed wearers might as well be dead people. A chill runs down your spine.
What is the meaning of this?
Your heart is beating slowly, your breathing has become deeper, and your thoughts are muddled. You seem to be under the influence of a potent stimulant.
Look around the temple.
One moment, the walls of Death's sanctum grow infinitely wide. The next, they are so narrow as to make it hard to breathe. The floor dances under your feet, and the undying Emperor's statue seems to shake its head threateningly as it looks down upon you.
What happens now?
That is for you to tell me.
You look at the Vizier, and his trembling frame seems small and insignificant. A single step is all it would take to crush him. But the visions are starting to wear off, and now the old man towers over you.
Now
The keen gaze of his sealed eyes is studying your every movement, waiting for a response.
Now you're going to initiate me as a servant of death.
A servant of death. Hiss the echoing whispers from the temple, and the Vizier bows his head reverently.
You have become the blood of the flagship. Now you will become one of his faithful servants. We may not name you a spinner, for a spinner's thread demands the forsaking of one's previous life, but the blood-spun web will still accept you. The tenets allow it, but only for a domin who has followed the trailing blood until the end.
Upon the ritual platform, at the undying Emperor's feet, under the keen gaze of his dark, empty eye sockets, you feel completely insignificant. Surprisingly, the thick blood pouring from his hands onto your brow, chest, and shoulders is still warm. Bowed before his image, the Vizier assumes the ceremonial postures with incredible ease, his withered body moving swiftly and soundlessly. You are slowly plunged into darkness to the sound of ritual chants and swishing blades. Amid the noise of splashing blood and the cultists' whispers, you hear the words. Death has spoken your name, Domin Harold. Death accepts you.
Offer a prayer to the undying Emperor.
Each word consecrated to him echoes in your temples and chest. Your veins become hot, and your blood turns to liquid flame. You have no fear in you. A whisper seems to come from above, from the Emperor's lips of stone, I see you. Could the lingering intoxication still be playing tricks on your mind? The strange rush you developed in the freight line's pestilence pit grows pale and scabs over. A healing grace descends upon you. The Vizier's voice grows suddenly thunderous and snaps you out of your reflections.
Death has accepted you, Domin Herald. Now and for all of time, you are the Blood Warden and the Undying One's most venerable servant.
A strange whisper brushes against the edge of your hearing. You cannot make out the words spoken by this infinitely distant yet infinitely powerful voice. You are not even certain whether you actually heard something or simply imagined it.
Blood Ward. Very flattering. I felt as the God Emperor was watching me.
To many, he comes during their time of service, in images of blood and whispers from the shadows. But remember that those are mere visions. For true death will not come for you until your time, and it will take your soul gently in its bony hands.
Blood Warden. Very flattering. I will add it to my other titles.
Now that you are part of the blood-spun web, remember henceforth to beware of vanity. For it leaves gaping rents in the armor of our souls.
So the ritual is complete.
The ritual is complete, but you are not.
The Vizier gestures for one of the cultists, who is carefully holding a strange garment, to come closer.
For years, we have maintained fealty to the Domini. We have collected sacred symbols and relics. You are the first in 3 generations of lords and ladies to grace this sanctum. And the first of them all to be initiated so. We are grateful. We are uplifted in spirit. Hear our exaltation and accept this gift of a vestment sewn from the bones of his faithful with the threads of death.
The cultists whisper prayers to the Undying One as they help you change your clothes and regain your faculties.
Nice. Got an achievement. Okay. So, melee attacks, dodge against melee attack, parry, war world. No dodge penalty, more armor. Dodge if the wear is not a cover. Strength bonus to wounds. Strength bonus. I don't have that much strength bonus. What do you... if we actually equip that on you... Strength bonus to wound. You're up to 73 wounds, negating that. Okay, fair enough. That's great.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Go over here. Oh, that's...
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Blood Pact. If the wielder grants the wielder the special ability Crimson Rage. What is Crimson Rage? The wielder suffer equal to 25% of the maximum health, regain 1 action point, and can be used multiple times as long as the wielder has at least 50% health. Okay. That is a spinner blade. Okay.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Can we talk to you more?
The Vizier's head trembles with the infirmity of age, and his lips utter barely audible words meant for those only he can see.
Damin Herald has honored us with a visit. We are glad.
First spinner.
Peace, Kybella. You are the shield. You are the shadow. You are the blade. So be them.
Your traditional rituals are rooted in blood and death. Many are frightened by that.
Many are blind even with their eyes wide open, thus spoke the matriarch spider. People look at things without seeing their essence, which makes them easy to beguile or frighten. We adorn the tunnels with the bones of the righteous, that they may guard our faithful against corrupt deeds and thoughts. We use the blood of the unholy ones for divination so we may see dangers. The blood of martyrs is our wine, for their suffering makes us stronger. People are afraid, but only because they see death as the end. Death, however, is a beginning. It is life and duty and oblivion. Death has many facets, that is its essence. That is its beauty. We will meet again, Damin, when the threads of fate weave a bloody pattern.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
A spinner, his face covered in carved, bleeding GLYPHS, makes a respectful gesture of invitation.
Let me show you the way, Damin.
Show me the way. Astropathic, Void Bridge. Need to heal up. What more do we have? As in stuff we need to do on the ship. What more do we have? Okay. So, critical hit chance. Weapon skill and strength. You know what? No. Let's equip those. Add those to cargo. Same with you. Same with you. Add to cargo. I think we have a quest with Sourback.
Jocasta Sourback is the very picture of discipline. Her uniform is exquisitely pressed, her armor is polished, and her posture is imposing and rigid. The only flaw in her immaculate appearance is the heavy Enforcer's maul, which is worn and battered from frequent use. She salutes you with a practiced motion.
Greetings, Lord Captain.
The lope-eared Kleppas, the confession.
She cocks an eyebrow.
Please repeat your orders, Lord Captain.
What is the dirty secret behind those strange words? Tell me.
I have no embarrassing secrets or weaknesses. Please recite the charge so that I can make a formal statement.
The Master at Arms' words ring with pride and devotion.
The Kleppas, Jocasta. I know everything.
Anxiety flares in her gaze.
I am ready to answer any questions as soon as I understand what you mean, Lord Captain.
Sourback nods respectfully.
A stress interrogation is a good tool for exposing ideologically weak elements.
She lowers her voice slightly.
It is usually conducted under duress. Thank you for choosing to omit that part for me.
You're wearing what's your opinion on the
Proud to serve the dynasty.
Lord Captain,
let's talk about things that may be useful to me as the rogue trader.
a noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
Outline the situation in the Chronos
This is
Expanse.
a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words, the Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much. This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
That's all
As
for
you
now.
wish, Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Okay, so we have talked to him. Let's talk to Helmsman Ravenor.
The tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle. Blue vein snake under his white, almost dove-colored skin, and his scalp and chin are covered in cropped white hair. His neck and shoulders are wrapped in wires that hint at the presence of neural connectors under his uniform. The officer's face seems to be twisted in a perpetual grimace of annoyance and anger, but he greets you with a respectful nod.
Lord Captain. Master Helmsman Raver, at your service.
Have you made confessions lately?
No, I'm up to my connectors and work as it is.
The orphans on the ship already provided, have they not?
The helmsman scratches the back of his head thoughtfully.
Damned if I know, Lord Captain. If you ask me, our orphans have it worlds better than they would on other ships.
Yep.
I'll be blasted if I understand a thing. Lord Captain.
Raver acknowledges you with a nod and turns away.
Greetings.
No new conversation for you. Don't want to talk to Cassia right now. Solomon. Okay, we can actually talk to Solomon.
Greetings, Rogue Trader. I would like to report that Glato and I have finished our initial inspection of the upper decks. The list of infractions ended up being 5 pages shorter than expected. I'm beginning to worry that a servant of the Lex might have little to occupy himself with aboard your ship.
Am I imagining it, or do you seem relaxed?
I doubt such a word could ever be accurately used to describe an arbitrator, but there is some truth to your observation. Since we're not in combat, I permit myself to stand at ease, which is to say, I'm standing by on full alert.
Good, that means we can converse like normal people.
A rogue trader and an arbitrator. You have an interesting notion of normality. Well, I'll try not to disappoint you with my conversation skills.
Must feel strange to be without your unit.
I've never been a part of a rogue trader's escort before. That said, I adapt to change more quickly than you might think. And as long as Glato is with me, I can handle any transition.
Hello, Glato.
The cybermastiff pricks up his ears, examining you with an intelligent look that seems anything but bestial.
Give the dog a piece of dried meat. Here you go, Glato.
Glato looks at the treat with indifference.
Glato is not a house pet, rogue trader. Trying to feed him will get you nowhere. He only eats out of my hands, and only at specific times. Strict training. It protects the Cyber Mastiff against deliberate poisoning and other ill intents. Basically, don't waste your time or your meat.
Does Gladio have a favorite type of training or some other pastime of choice?
Sometimes I let him play with heretics' corpses. That was a joke. If you're asking about entertainment, that concept does not really apply to an RPT's dog. But I like to imagine that Glato is enthusiastic about training with me, that he enjoys running long distances at my side, and during target practice, he always seems eager to hear me give the attack order.
I think you and Gladio could do with some with your own training ground. I will order a space to be prepared, in one of the compartments, and have it outfitted with everything you need. That can be all of it, can it? That can't be all of it, can it?
Fine. Let me satisfy your curiosity. I do have a special exercise that helps to sharpen Glato's hunting instincts. I take a few ammo casings and hide them in hard-to-reach places. One time, after a raid on a manufactorum, I gave him a whole abandoned workshop to run around in. But I also played a trick on him by throwing one casing onto a ceiling beam. Then it was Glato's turn to play tricks. He waited under the beam until I walked up to him. Then he jumped onto my shoulders and climbed to the top. He cut my temple open with his claw and almost broke my clavicle, but he got the casing.
Oh. I think you and Glad could do with your own training ground. I will order a space to be prepared.
The equipment needs to be sturdy. Glato is unstoppable when he's not holding back. Thank you.
Served with honor and duty, Gladio.
The Cybermastiff growls quietly. It seems he does not take kindly to anyone making eye contact with him for more than a second.
About your Cybermastiff.
You hear that, Glato? The rogue trader himself is asking about you.
Solomon says nothing.
You know where to find me.
Yep. Okay, so we're Glato, happy. How are you?
A thin, pale woman stands out among the rest of the crew.
I assume you heard my confessional message.
Victus replies, without a hint of awkwardness.
Do you wish to talk about it?
Victus, I want a pair of clappers on board the ship.
I am going to quote my mother's response, that is impossible. You see, the species went extinct several centuries ago.
Victus's voice grows ever so slightly warmer.
I am very sorry, Lord Captain. There aren't any clappers to be had.
Your confession perplexed the initiatives. Find a way to delete it and we shall forget about it.
Will do, Lord Captain. Would you like to discuss other matters?
Connect me to the vessel's main channel. I wish to bolster the morale of my crew.
The Vox Master nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she is holding.
It is done, Lord Captain.
You address the crew with a rousing speech and hear your voice roll through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval.
I've been given an immortalium, and I need help to arrange my personal log states that the ship's Vox system is malfunctioning. Can you explain?
Lord Captain.
The Vox Master is caught off guard by your question. It takes her a moment to find her words.
The Vox system is functioning as expected and no communication problems have been reported by any of the crew. Please allow me to check the system's calibration settings in your presence to alleviate any concerns you may have about its performance.
The Vox Master's thin fingers dart between hundreds of wires and cables on the control panel. Flipping switches and turning dials, she issues commands and methodically checks the lines of communication with the crew on every deck. At last, accompanied by the sound of static, the crackling of the Vox, and the flickering of signaling lights, the dance of her hands concludes.
All finished, Lord Captain. No issues detected. The system is working as expected.
She studies your face as she awaits your response.
Nod and leave without saying a word.
Lord Captain.
She offers an unusually deep bow, likely using it to mask her confusion.
Okay. So we have Servitor. Henrix.
To what do I owe this visit?
Heinrichs politely inclines his head in response. The high factotum Janris Danroke greets you with a cool smile and the merest hint of a bow.
Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance?
I want to know more about the people who buy our plunder. Just to think your fellow crew member. Remind me. Yeah, no.
I shall await your instructions, Lord Captain.
Okay, so I think we've done most of the things we can do on the ship right now. Yeah, we're going to Dragonus now and starting that part. We're going to Dragonus and doing that. That is the plan now, and we will see how that goes.
Lord Captain, a transport shuttle bearing the markings of the Adeptus Mechanicus is approaching the ship. Magus Tarsus's delegation intends to board our ship and gain an audience with your lordship. Many of my tech comrades neglect diplomacy when interacting with the laity. It is regrettable.
Receive the delegation. They may indeed be on a more important
business. It will be done, Lord Captain. Requesting permission to be present at the audience granted to my tech comrades.
Did we equip? I think we equipped Cabela with the things. You can actually have a look. Which gloves do you have? Whereas it kills an enemy, explodes into a fountain of blood. Nearby are covered by blood file.
If worn by a death cult assassin, whenever the wearer kills an enemy, that enemy explodes in a fountain of blood. The cells nearby are covered in blood as if affected by blood file.
Blood file. Okay, yeah. So that gives bonus damage and stuff like that, yeah.
A group dressed in the crimson of the priesthood of Mars walks toward you. Their gazes are fixed on Pasquale. You note that the group is not monolithic. Some of its members are more heavily armed and follow a large tech priest clad in battle armor. Others keep a respectful distance and cast enquiring looks at their own leader, whose hunched posture belies his tall frame. Despite the hood hiding his face, you recognize him as Opticon 22, whom you encountered on Footfall. The enormous tech priest points his hand at Pasquale and lets out a booming roar not unlike a factory alarm. It makes your very bones vibrate. Herald servo skulls marked with the emblem of the cog follow in his wake. They blare shrilly.
Thou shalt not suffer a heretic in thy forge, for rust begets rust. Pasquale Hanuman, in the name of the Adeptus Mechanicus, you are under arrest.
The hunched servant of the Omnisar turns to you.
Diplomacy mode engaged. Announcement: the Adeptus Mechanicus / offer their apologies for / would like to inform you of the necessity of / conducting an operation to / detain / arrest / terminate / a faulty unit on the rogue trader's territory.
Who are you?
In a burst of chattering, the servo skulls hasten to translate their master's mighty binary howl.
An instrument of the Omnissiah authorized to punish and exact vengeance, known by the designation Tarsus Hanuman. Identification codes recognized and confirmed. These units are who they declare themselves to be.
Are they the two tech priests from
You
Earth?
identify the rare armor the enormous tech priest is wearing as a Secutor's plated, mechanized suit. It carries the imprints of many battles and has markings that announce its status as a relic. Some of the armor's damage looks fairly severe, to the point of endangering its operation. The slivers of flesh revealed under the steel are marked with terrible chemical burns. Every now and then, convulsions shake the tech priest's body, and a painful sounding hiss comes from his vox. The tall tech priest who spoke to you looks more peaceful and makes a point of not drawing his weapon. There is an air of concern about the way he frequently glances over at his fellow, scrutinizing his condition.
Glory to the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm ready to cooperate.
Willingness to cooperate recorded. Mandate expanded. I request / the right to conduct / non-interference in / the operation to / detain / arrest / terminate / the unit falsely identifying itself as Pasquale Hanuman. This heretic is accused of stealing personal identification codes, spreading tech heresy on the world of Kieva Gamma, and making an attempt on the life of a servant of the Omnissiah.
The deafening roar from the tech priest's vox makes you grimace in pain. You touch your ear and notice blood on your fingers.
The faulty unit will be removed. In the name of the Omnissiah, I condemn you.
Lightning flashes across the warrior's armor. Agony resounds in the blare of his vox alarm. In contrast, Pasquale speaks quietly and coldly.
You are malfunctioning, tech comrade. I deem your logical conclusions questionable. The statement is false. Tech brother Tarsus Hanuman is willingly undergoing holy / torment / deterioration / which however / does not affect / does not critically affect / his cognitive capacity for data analysis. Unit calling itself Pasquale Hanuman, we have information that implicates you. Having learned that you are / a member of the retinue / a maintenance specialist in the service / of rogue trader von Valancius, we have come here with the goal of / meeting you / intercepting you / engaging you in combat /.
Wait a minute, what's happening on Kieva Gamma? The planet belongs to me.
According to Vox interception data, the planet's fabricator sensor made / incorrect / blasphemous / modifications to manufacturing working procedures, which qualifies as a lapse into sacrilege. The Adeptus Mechanicus are hereby officially notifying House von Valancius of having commenced an / investigation into / operation to remove / fabricator sensor Cuvis Delphum. Estimated time to procedure completion, 3.7 solar years. Our data suggests that the unit which used Magus Explorator Hanuman's identification code performed an unauthorized upgrade on the planetary Vox array and introduced data deemed to be scrap code into its operation. This fact points to this unit's criminal complicity with the heretic Cuvis Delphum.
What do you have to say about this, Pascal?
Pasquale replies firmly, his vox crackling with a hint of indignation.
I deny these charges. I never plotted against my tech comrade. My cognitive purity vows were never distorted. My unique identification code was never stolen. I am the true Magus Explorator Hanuman, and I am not guilty.
The tech priest's deep, guttural roar blends with the servo skull's high-pitched whine.
False witness.
Grimace, do the big fellow have to roar?
Negative. Upon completing his sanctification procedure, Tech Brother Tarsus / vowed / modified his engrammatic cogmatics algorithms in order / never to / desecrate / sully / tarnish / his / mouth / vox / cognitive process / with flesh speak.
Oh my god.
The servo skulls screech.
Mine is a pure and binary tongue that preserves only what is true and shuns scrap data.
Are you saying this bloodthirsty Hulk is a saint?
This statement is true. Brother Tarsus has the / honor of wearing / authorization to wear / the sacred battle harness that belonged to Magus Militant Auspector Gracchus, one of the first / champions of the faith / holy scouts / to join the cause of conquering the Dragonus expanse. After / his death / the termination of his vital functions / at the hands of Xenos, his damaged Goliath-class armor was preserved and given the status of a relic. The Adeptus Mechanicus regard this act as voluntary / martyrdom / self-destruction / for the glory of the Deus Mechanicus.
Okay.
This battle harness is classified as Cogni armor. The machine spirit living in it is strong and wise, but it took major damage in the course of Magus Gracchus's last battle. Besides sacred litanies and imperatives of service to the Omnissiah, the armor broadcasts a continuous signal of suffering and agony into Tech Brother Tarsus's mind.
I'm not handing over Pascal unless I see evidence. Let us get to the bottom of this matter together. Do you have proof that the tech priest is who he claims? Yeah.
Request approved. Ready to work in cooperative mode.
Tarsus gives you a haughty look and lets out a howl of wrath.
Archiving. Tech Brother Tarsus opposes lay participation in the // investigation / search for the truth / The unit Opticon 22 advises in favor of the House von Valancius representative's participation request.
I insist on a joint investigation. Arresting a rogue trader's retinue member without any justification stand in breach of the law and my privilege under the warrant of trade.
Request for cooperation reviewed and accepted. I request Tech Brother Tarsus's consent to the CO participation of representatives of the von Valancius dynasty in the investigation proceedings. A sacrilegious conspiracy. I refuse help from lay persons. I am a cog of the Deus Mechanicus that grinds down corruption, and I will carry out the sentence immediately.
Pasquale freezes, but green sparks light up in his visor. He extends a hand toward Tarsus and replies, in a clanging voice.
Let the cycle be discontinued.
You realize Pasquale's words are coming from both his own vox and Tarsus's. Then every sensor on the executioner's battle harness lights up at once, blindingly, and the wounded armored Leviathan lets out a deafening roar of pain.
Attention. Priority notification. Service units of the Kappa Thread supply line are unauthorized to confront the rogue trader. Command, retreat and reinitiate negotiations.
Let the fight begin! Attack Pascal.
Grovel before the faithful.
Who thought that was a good idea?
It is.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deed. For you, my Emperor!
Okay, we have our first crit. That's a normal shot.
I'll do it.
Pop that,
Doubt
pop
is
that.
for the weak. I refuse.
Reload.
There is
Ouch.
only death. Yours or mine.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
The shadows will my blade whispers your name. Ha! Caught by the web. No. As honor ordained.
Then Pascal, and then... Okay.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Okay. We're going to do the Move there, please. Thank you.
My vow is to serve. Advancing.
Each turn.
Tech familiar activated.
A dance of blades and shadows. Let your soul be purged. Killing brings me no pleasure. I shall not fail. The other side awaits.
Okay.
As the tenants demand, my blade whispers your name. The shadows will killing brings me no pleasure. As honor ordained.
I jump back.
Death is a blessing.
Oh my god, that's a lot of blood. That is a lot of blood.
At your beck and call. Indeed. I'd rather not. I will do my duty.
Got a fucking... Oh, got a fucking wasp flying around me now. Great.
Actions will speak louder than words.
50 damage. Not bad. Not bad at all.
And so shall it be done.
Oh, when you parried it. Okay, fair enough.
I will not be deterred.
30 damage, and that's... How many bleeds? You have 20 stacks of bleed on you. Use character removes blind. Okay, yeah, no. Not really important now. What is... You have 2% extra damage. Resolve. Okay. Don't bug out on me now. Please don't bug out on me. Okay. And we're back? Okay, great.
I'll do it. I am his will made manifest. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Okay. Opticon 22.
Requesting cessation of hostilities.
By the transit, help your brother.
The unit that called itself Tarsus Hanuman / is dead / has been disabled //. This material asset is beyond restoration or reuse as spare parts.
After a pause, Pasquale bores his head, and a binary requiem pours out of his vox.
Despite his misconceptions, he was a servant of the Omnissiah.
Pascal, what did you do to Tarsus?
Pasquale's confused reply comes from his vox in a rasp.
Unable to fulfill request. The Omnissiah granted me an epiphany, and I muted the maimed machine spirit that was filling Tarsus's mind with fury. I do not fully understand the manner of my appeal to it. The situation perfectly mirrors the incident on Rykad Minories where I appealed to the machine spirit of a malfunctioning mechanism and laid it to rest.
I'm sorry that you had to kill your comrade.
I also //regret / have a negative assessment of / this event. The Adeptus Mechanicus still accuse the unit identifying itself as Pasquale Hanuman of criminal theft of a unique identification code. Unlike Tech Brother Tarsus, I am not authorized to immediately / arrest / execute / the unit, but neither am I authorized to drop the inquiry. There are no apostates among us.
The piercing voice from the Vox synth is more overwhelming than Tarsus's thunderous roar.
Tech Brother Tarsus and the machine spirit that lived in his battle harness succumbed to the suffering that beset them. Their judgment was rash and erroneous. Now their torment is over. I declare them martyrs, and am requisitioning Tarsus Hanuman's neural Dogmatic for the purposes of preserving his blessed memory.
As astonished tech priests look on, Pasquale leans over the slain man's body and extracts the Dogmatic from his skull. His movements are as precise as they are respectful.
Listen in silence.
With each word, Pasquale's voice grows more powerful and majestic.
You saw the agony your Tech Brother Tarsus was in. His unbridled, pain-spurred faith intimidated you, yet you were silent. Reverence stopped you from raising your voices to proclaim that the machine spirit with which his mind had merged was morbidly afflicted. The imperative of reverence had paralyzed your will, and you watched a tragedy unfold in silence. The sixth universal law states that comprehension is the true path to knowledge. Yet the procedural cycle has robbed you of your comprehension. Therefore, let the cycle be discontinued.
There is a clang as Opticon 22's knee presses into the floor. Crimson hooded heads are bowed.
Let the cycle be discontinued.
The radiant light pouring out of Pasquale's visor grows dimmer. Static creeps back into his voice.
Let the cycle be discontinued, tech comrades.
What is the reason of active introduction? Now that the conflict have been resolved, you may remain aboard my ship.
Request denied. The Kappa Thread Supply Line delegation is leaving Dragonus, expresses gratitude for the / hospitality / ceasefire / and proclaims its intent to return to Footfall to resume performing its regular functions.
The tech priest looks over at Pasquale as if waiting for something. Pasquale's mechadendrite briefly touches the shoulder of Opticon 22, who bows respectfully.
Yay! Let's see what they have. I don't think they have anything super fancy, right? They have an axe, power sword. That's fairly decent. But other than that, we don't really have anything. Okay.
The Divine watches over us.
Can't leave there. Okay, fair enough. There are a few things I'm wondering about now. If you've played through the axe, you know that certain companion actually initiates, like, your progression to the next act. I'm wondering how they actually solve that now. I do not know what's going to happen, but I want a new character with me. Because I think it's time for us to actually start implementing him more and more in it. So.
The Emperor protects. Welcome home, your lordship.
The state.
I am Clementia Verserian, Court Chancellor of the von Valancius dynasty. On behalf of all of Dragonus, please accept my deepest condolences on the untimely passing of Theodora von Valancius. Her departure is a terrible blow to us all. But as one star expires, another always flares to life. And, although still overcome with bitterness and grief, your subjects hope that you will become the trade dynasty's guiding light in these trying times.
Okay.
Clementia.
Abelard offers a reserved nod. Shh. The young man quickly brings a respirator to his burnt face and bores his head courteously. His raven black hair veils his burns and skull implants, and his thin metal fingers creak quietly as he offers a welcoming gesture.
Achilles Scalander, Secretary at the Administrative Department. I hope your journey to Dragonus was not darkened by unwanted troubles?
Emperor protects us on a journey through the stars.
Achilles makes the sign of the Aquila.
And may he remain merciful to us till the end of time.
Does your lordship wish to survey the grounds? Or perhaps we could sate your curiosity by answering any questions you might have. Governor Urbent Drivestem has been notified of your arrival on Dragonus and will visit the palace shortly. The preparations for the official visit are well in hand, but your lordship still has plenty of time before the meeting.
Why isn't the governor here to greet me here with you?
Apologies, your lordship. Governor Drivestem's residence is on the other side of the world, by the Administratum Palace of Dragonus. We sent word as soon as you entered the system. But it takes time to travel the great distances of your domain.
Chancellor Verserian appears unruffled, but you cannot shake the thought that the governor's lateness is a subtle political gesture designed to test the limits of what is acceptable when it comes to interacting with the new rogue trader.
I would like to rest before my meeting. Where's my chambers?
They are very close, just down the hall. That is also where the study and the audience chamber are.
Achilles' face brightens with a pearly white smile, restoring some of his former good looks.
Lady Theodora's study has remained locked since her last departure, but, on account of your arrival, we've arranged for it to be tidied up. It is ready whenever you may need it.
You are dismissed.
I apologize for my bluntness, but I have a request to make. Perhaps, before the meeting takes place, the illustrious Lord Captain could spare a few minutes for a conversation with me.
Achilles bores his head.
I'm certain that you will find my report on the state of affairs in the von Valancius Protectorate most useful.
Talk to Achilles, okay.
This is out of the ordinary.
Glinting in the light, the coin falls into the clear water and sinks to the bottom. Glinting in the light, the coin falls into the clear water and sinks to the bottom.
Okay. Let's have a look around, look around, look around. Loot, 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 loot.
Unlocked.
Fight today, yeah. Lord Emperor. Okay. Jürgen, we are going home. Can you make the character from... Make the character... I don't know, I'm getting weird feelings. Do you know the character from Borderlands? Zero. Inform me of the location and chambers. Okay, yeah. another day.
Stay faithful, and you will be rewarded.
Whenever the wearer moves through a cell occupied by an enemy, the wearer... Okay, that's decent.
When you approach, Hyujin sends out a piercing screech and throws something at your feet. You reach down and realize that your bird has brought you a gift. As for where and when Hyujin could have found it, you will probably never know.
Touch the eagle.
The living symbol of the Imperium gazes at you with seeming indignation at the frivolous gesture. Hyujin permits your touch, but you can tell that no further reaction will be forthcoming.
Unlocked.
Okay. The heavy melter. A fine weapon.
I need to look closer.
Okay. Okay. Everything is checked out. Come, Hugin. We're going.
Unlocked.
The Emperor gave me a vision.
What do we have here? More stuff. Good. Okay. Nope.
Your lordship.
Clementia bores her head politely. For a chancellor to a rogue trader, she is dressed rather simply, a parade doublet, polished boots, and a comfortable cloak. She bears a saber in a gilded scabbard, whether for show or protection, one could not say. Only her ring with the Viserion coat of arms indicates that she is of the highest social stratum.
The governor is waiting on the periphery of the palace. Please let me know when you would like to see him.
The sharp gaze, the impeccable straight back, the composure. For a moment, you feel like you're looking at a younger version of Abelard himself, not his heir. Judging by the scars on the exposed parts of her body, Clementia saw her fair share of combat prior to assuming the position of chancellor.
Governor can wait a bit longer. I still have matters to attend to.
Certainly, your lordship. However,
her thin lips twist slightly.
I do not concern myself with the governor's feelings, but I must warn you, your action or inaction may be interpreted in a certain way. Now, if your lordship will excuse me.
The lack of observers on this world has led your nobles to become extremely complacent. Today alone, I overheard 3 statements that, if I so wanted, could be turned into grounds for a charge of heresy.
The slender figure, clad in robes made from expensive fabric, shudders from violent coughing. Pressing a gilded respirator to his face, the man takes several deep breaths.
Achilles, it's been many moons. I hope your cousin is feeling well.
Achilles covers his burnt lips, trying and failing to suppress a coughing fit.
She is in good health. She sends her regards to you, as well as her wishes for your swift return.
Heinrichs frowns.
For as long as the stars shine in the sky, my vigil continues. So it does.
Achilles thumps himself on the chest with his augmented hand. You hear the clanging of metal against metal.
I'm not so foolish as to fail to note this conversation in code.
Your insight deserves credit, rogue traitor. Then again, I expected nothing less from Theodora von Valancius's successor.
Heinrichs looks at Achilles.
Allow me to introduce Achilles Scalander properly. In addition to his duties as Secretary of the Administratum, he acts as an agent of the Golden Throne under my aegis. Master Scalander was transferred into my remit by a colleague who is engaged in other matters in the Coronis Expanse. I'm sure you will find Achilles' service useful, especially when dealing with the schemes of humanity's foes within the borders of your protectorate. Greetings, Lord Harold von Valancius. Allow me once again to express my deepest condolences on the loss of Lady Theodora. I will do everything I can to track down and destroy all of Kunrad Voigtver's accomplices on the capital world.
Do you know anything about what has become of Kunrad Voigtver, the former master of the Whisper, is a heretic and a traitor to the dynasty?
Achilles nods grimly.
Word of his treason reached Dragonus too late. Kunrad came to the planet and left it almost immediately, once he had sown discord in the minds of the gullible and naive. The worst of the rumors he started was that you were the one responsible for Lady Theodora's sudden demise. Of course, your loyal subjects did their best to skin alive any who showed signs of doubt. But it seems unlikely that the Wardens got to everyone who has allowed doubt into their heart and now nurtures it in secret.
You promised me a report on present state of affairs in the Protectorate.
I have already forwarded all official reports to your Seneschal. As for the conversation we're having right now, I wouldn't trust any paper or data slate with its contents. You see, Lady Theodora, may the Emperor have mercy on her soul, was perfectly aware of Dragonus's political environment. You, however, have only just arrived on the capital world, and I thought it would be best to bring you up to speed. Frankly, the nobles of Dragonus, much like nobles on most worlds, are akin to spiders in a jar, ready to pounce on whoever is the weakest, or whomever they deem to be the weakest. The nobles of Dragonus are well-respected, rich, and powerful individuals who held Lady Theodora's favor for many years and found ways to rise above the rest by diligently serving the rogue traitor. Every family pursues its own selfish interests, and each one expects that with the transition of power, they will retain and even add to their lands and wealth. The families I would recommend giving particular attention to are the Drive Stems, the Gapruks, and the Sourbacks. I should also mention the Worsrians, not a noble house per se, but a family that was part of Lady Theodora's inner circle, to the Blue Blood's great displeasure.
Tell me about the Drive Stems.
The Drive Stems are the ancient governor house of Dragonus. Predictably, the greater the wealth of the von Valancius Protectorate, the fuller their coffers grow. Their reputation is flawless except for one detail. We have evidence that Urbent Drive Stems rivals seem to have the misfortune of regularly falling victim to Xeno's raids. I find that these attacks are always a little too advantageous for the Drive Stems, but we lack solid proof, and it might never surface. The closer an official is to a rogue traitor, the braver and safer they feel. I would just like to remind everyone that rubbing shoulders with Xenos is a heresy that can be overlooked only in the case of the von Valancius heir, not his servant.
What makes Gaprak special?
The Gapraks hail from a remote Forge world, and among their distant relatives, there are many servants of the Omnissiah, and the house itself is close to the cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus, both in spirit and in their business connections. The Gapraks oversaw the industrial shipments within your protectorate, until recently. Ever since the astropathic communication with Kieva Gamma was severed, they've been quite concerned about the security of the planet placed in their care.
Tell me about House Sourback.
Religious and hard-working, the Sourbacks own many enterprises, including distillation manufactorums that produce promethium. I must note that lately members of the Sourback family have been prone to overly liberal statements about the von Valancius dynasty. They believe that Lady Theodora was a bit too keen to leave her worlds without proper oversight. The Worsrians are a line founded by Lady Theodora's seneschal and as such are nominally considered nobility, at least from the standpoint of the Imperial Navy, from which Lord Abelard hails. On Dragonus, however, their position is precarious. Firstly, they never were granted an official title, a process which has been impeded for decades by the old houses of Dragonus, and secondly, the other families do not see them as equals, but more as upstarts clinging to the rogue trader's favor. The Worsrians are responsible for the capital world's fleet and the majority of the cargo shipments on domestic routes.
After hearing all that, I feel the urge to have every one of those sycophants executed at once.
Achilles shrugs.
You are, naturally, well within your right, rogue traitor. But remember that this will cause the multi-layered bureaucratic system of Dragonus, of your entire protectorate, in fact, to come apart at the seams. And that's not even considering the likelihood of attempted reprisals from their families and allies. I would hold off on the death sentences. Act with restraint and wisdom, present for all to see sufficient proof of the unwanted house's guilt. Do not mistake me, mass executions are one way to solve your problems, but in that case, you should weigh up every possible scenario before you act.
Enough.
There was, your lordship. And this time, it concerns the main reason for my presence on this planet, Xenos and the threat they pose both to you and to humanity as a whole. The last few months have been difficult for the people who report to me, my eyes and ears scattered throughout the Coronis expanse. Warp disturbances, astropaths overcome with madness, ships disappearing in the immaterium, many of my observers and contacts have gone dark or have been killed by some calamity or other. Still, I managed to establish communication with some key individuals who were able to warn me about incoming threats, including Xenos raids.
Achilles looks you in the eye without blinking.
It is within my power to supply you with intelligence on where and when the Xenos will strike next. I do not doubt that Governor Drivestem will beg you for protection against the Xenos, and in this fight, the information from my contacts will serve you well. I beseech you, Herald, if I ever report a threat looming over a ship or a planet, do not dismiss it. Sometimes it takes an intervention from the rogue trader and his mighty void ship to avert a disaster.
Achilles bows.
According to the message I received a few minutes ago, Governor Drivestem has arrived at court.
Your lordship, Governor Drivestem is waiting in the audience hall. I advise you to respond to his lateness in kind, that way you can let Urbend know that his behavior has not gone unremarked. But I would not delay too long. Right now, the court is closely observing your every step.
Tell them I'm ready to see the governor.
Clementia bows before leaving.
I shall arrange for him to be
Harold von Valancius, 20th in his line, rogue trader, keeper of the sacred warrant, and ruler of the Coronis expands from the Cranich system to the 100 Dreams crossroads. I bid you welcome. Urbend Drivestem, governor of this great world. First and foremost, please accept my deepest condolences. It will be difficult to recover from the loss of a woman as great as Theodora von Valancius. It pains me to think that she is no longer with us. The citizens of Dragonus and of the entire Protectorate grieve alongside you. Please allow us to declare half a year of mourning so that we can honor the memory of our beloved lady.
The governor glances at Kibella anxiously, then immediately averts his gaze. Then he looks at her again, but when Kibella lets out a grim chuckle and stretches her lips daubed in fresh blood into a petrifying grin, the governor turns away from her sharply, all but squealing in fear.
There is no need. I am the new ruler of the Protectorate. Let my subject rejoice in my arrival instead.
The bewilderment causes the wrinkles on Drivestem's glossy face to soften.
Your lordship, these are centuries-old traditions, sacred customs, and rules. Do not forget who it is you serve, Urbend Drivestem. If it is the rogue trader's wish not to have a mourning ceremony,
Abelard's voice grates unpleasantly.
Then so be it. Perhaps the parvenu installed by Lady Theodora cares not for the sacred traditions of our founding ancestors.
The governor gives a meaningful nod in Abelard's direction.
But Harold von Valancius is a descendant of the true children of Dragonus. It behoves the ruler of a world to honor its customs.
I do honor the tradition, Governor. Later. Think.
And yet you are still a descendant of a great dynasty. But I shan't tire you further with my humble opinion.
Urban, come on now, Urban. I'm much as revenue as what? Okay.
Esteemed Herald, Lady Theodora was a strong leader, and we ought to follow her example. Let us lean on our wisdom and persevere in spite of this tragedy. Together. And let us carry on where she no longer can by leading the von Valancius Protectorate to even greater prosperity.
Drivestem gives you a look of admiration. It seems that he is quite aware of your fame, and this opportunity to curry favor with such an eminent figure is one he does not wish to miss.
Your illustrious glory made you famous far beyond the bounds of your home system.
As much as the governor is trying to appear sincere, there is something in the curve of his nervous half-smile that you find troubling. Is it a hint of reproach? Mockery? Condemnation? Or is it merely your guilty conscience playing tricks on you under the governor's keen gaze, stirring?
Alas, it won't be an easy task to accomplish. Some time ago, the astropaths of Dragonus flew into a rage, and they had to be subdued. We are gradually restoring our ability to speak with neighboring worlds, but the contacts are still weak, and the routes are tangled and no longer lead to the systems that the captains expect them to. Given that the vast majority of ships in the Dragonus Navy travel without relying on the services of navigators, without your engagement, the well-being of the von Valancius dynasty and billions of its subjects is presently at risk.
We met a ship from Dragonus not too long ago. The crew was transporting a strange artifact, went mad during the flight.
This is a truly regrettable bit of news. What's more, leaving Dragonus has been forbidden for several cycles now. It seems the Verserian family has once again failed in their primary responsibilities. We will investigate this at once. As well as the fact that the ship had to acquire a permit with the Administratum seal. Does your nephew still serve at the Administratum Palace?
The governor presses a number of buttons on the cogitator built into his bracer and looks up at you in surprise.
I don't understand. The ship did indeed depart from orbit, but it did so, if you can believe it, on the rogue trader's authorization. That is why no one dared to impede its departure. Lord Captain, it would seem that Kunrad somehow got his hands on a copy of your authorization, or perhaps even the original. A tool like that in the hands of a traitor does not bode well.
Kunrad Vogthem, former Masters of Whisper, is a heretic and a traitor. Has he shown his face on Dragonus?
The governor pensively strokes the rings glittering on his fingers.
Lord Voigtper visited the capital some time ago, but he did not request a personal meeting. A heretic, you say? Now I see where all the whispering in the corridors has come from. I shall be frank with you, your lordship. Lady Theodora's sudden death was a blow to every one of us, and the absence of any sort of verifiable and complete information about her successor gives grounds for all manner of rumors and misinterpretations, especially if someone is deliberately inciting unrest and discontent. Naturally, none would dare challenge you by accusing you of something as sacrilegious as murdering a rogue traitor. However, Kunrad Voigtver was once a true boon to the Protectorate back in the day, and as such, some might heed his words.
I sentence all who dare to make heretical remarks about the rogue traitor to servitude and Imperatorus. Machines aren't prone to dissidence. Pretty much making them into servitors. Yeah, that sounds good.
I shall immediately make all the arrangements so that your order can be carried out properly.
Drive Stimbos.
What do the nobility of Dragonus expect from me in the light of the loss of the communications with other worlds?
We are all troubled by the fate of the agri-world Janus that supplied Dragonus and other planets with foodstuffs. Empty stomachs can drive even the mildest rabble to revolt. Furthermore, House Gapric is perturbed by the loss of communication with the industrial world Kievagama, which is in their charge. But if you wish to know my opinion, the world that deserves your attention the most is the penal world Vebo 6, one of the key mining suppliers in your protectorate.
I've already visited the Agris world. Governor Viet was found herself facing a number of problems in my absence.
Truly? The Viet line is one of the oldest in the von Valancius protectorate. If the inheritor of such well-respected blood could not handle whatever had befallen her, then the situation must have been extraordinary indeed.
Vincent Viet is no longer in charge of the world. She is dead. I have delivered Janus into more capable hands. Vizier succumbed to the worship of the ruinous powers and was executed.
Drivestem pales in terror. It is clear from the unseemly grimace on his aristocratic countenance that his fear is not feigned.
Our ruinous powers? Truly horrifying news. I commend your resolve and unwavering severity. Death to the enemies of humanity.
There's intrigue concern for the outpost. Does your house happen to own extraction stations there?
Drivestem's beady eyes widen in fear.
Your lordship. I beg of you, do not interpret my words as an attempt to influence your decisions in any way. You see, without Vebo 6, the manufacturers on your worlds will need to make haste to find new suppliers elsewhere and arrange for new shipments, and in these troubling times, they run the risk of delays and other most tragic mishaps. My only concern is for the prosperity of the von Valancius dynasty.
That does it for planets, trade routes, what else?
Xenos, your lordship. I don't rightly know where to begin.
He rubs the bridge of his nose wearily.
Otherworldly beasts are not an uncommon sight in the Coronis expanse. They have been a menace to the worlds this side of the Maw for decades. But now those abominations are on the rampage. They show no signs of fear as they attack ships, either damaging them to the point where they become unfit for transport duty or outright gutting them. Only you have the power to stop this madness. We are in the process of restoring the astropathic choir of Dragonus. Luckily, we were forced to slay only some of the deranged psychers, although those that remain are as yet unable to transmit messages. I hope Master Scalander will keep his word and offer you his support in the war against the Xenos. According to his reports, the region of Vebo 6 has been of particular concern in the last few cycles, which is all the more reason to discover the colony's fate as soon as possible. Now, to issues on a smaller scale. There is a certain degree of tension in the capital due to the unorthodox succession to the Sacred Warrant. Chances of uprisings are minimal, of course, and the spreading of rumors is nothing but a sign of weakness of mind and spirit. Nonetheless, I have prepared a list of minor houses that have demonstrated unseemly discomposure at your succession.
Command the spinners of the bloodspun web, and they will set a fine snare of retribution, Daman Herald. We will whisper names, and that whisper will drown out insolent voices.
Ally entrust his burden to the bloodspun web. Unravel the tangles of plot and foil them.
It will be done, Daemon Herald. Let the sacrament of the hunt commence.
A cold sweat breaks out on Drivestom's face. He forces a subservient smile on his face.
This will bring the noble houses into line for years to come, your lordship. It will make them fear not only blasphemous words, but also their own shadows. And one last thing, your lordship. Your inauguration as bearer of the sacred warrant is but a matter of time, and I would like to inquire about one crucial detail. I imagine you are intending to uphold the centuries-old tradition, bolstered by an equally long-lasting friendship, of being represented on Dragonus by one of the noble houses. I presume that, as before, this duty will be accorded to House Drivestem.
There is no need to alter the tradition. The dynasty will be representative of House Drivestem. Yep.
I never doubted your lordship's decision. I can tell that the future holds a fruitful partnership for us, and prosperity for all Dragonus. I shall immediately relay all your orders, most gracious rogue trader. May the gold of the throne illuminate your path.
I would like to complete the inauguration as a rogue trader as soon as possible. When...
I'm afraid that, until you deal with pressing issues, the ceremony will have to be postponed. Many trade routes are still unavailable, the central worlds of the Von Valancius Protectorate are going through a crisis, and the warp disturbances, if Void observers are to be believed, will prevent important guests from reaching the capital.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, your lordship. Since duty calls, I shall take my leave. May the Emperor's grace be with you.
Okay. We are good there. Where do we have... Okay. Let's go over here and talk to... Solomon?
Rogue trader, the Marshal is ready to meet with you. Do you wish to commence the audience?
Yes, I'm ready to discuss our business. I would prefer to first know exactly what the head of the Adeptus Arbites in the Expanse wants to see me about.
I do not know the details, but I would assume the procedure is the same as it was in Lady Theodora's time, a personal introduction, a reaffirming of allyship between the dynasty and the Adeptus Arbites, and a discussion of tithe-related affairs.
Yes, I'm ready to discuss our business. Full on march, huh?
Two markedly distinct figures approach your throne. Marching in front is a man clad in Adeptus Arbit's armor. He carries his helmet in the crook of his arm, but his stern facade serves him as well as any visor could. He bows to you sharply.
Marshal Strix of the Adeptus Arbites.
An old woman walks in the Marshal's shadow, her body fitted with dozens of scribing implants and magnifying instruments. If not for her eyes, quick and inquisitive behind a giant pair of ocular lenses, you might have mistaken her for an exotic servitor. Her robes are adorned with sacred symbols of the Adeptus Administratum. The woman bows.
Rogue trader Harold von Valancius. I, Prefect in Scribia Vulture, greet you on behalf of the Adeptus Administratum. I will now begin the due procedure of official address to the ruler of Dragonus as formalized by Amendment 4N/10 to Law SK 941. May your name be wreathed in glory for centuries to come, may your fortunes ever proliferate, may the God Emperor bestow upon you a duty worthy of his chosen.
The monotonous droning is making you weary. It seems she intends to go on for a good while longer.
Get comfortable and listen to the end.
The prefect resumes her elaborate formula. You notice a few poorly concealed yawns and frenzied blinking among the crowd. The speech drags on for another 5 minutes, but you pass this test of fortitude honorably. At last, the prefect's address comes to an end.
Inscribia. Who would give their child that name? Abelard, what are these people doing in my domains? I do not recall you seeing in my court. What are you doing in my domains?
The Marshal leans forward. His voice is low, and when he speaks, it feels as though the marble tiles of the palace had begun to vibrate.
The Adeptus Administratum delegation, accompanied by the Adeptus Arbites, has arrived to greet Lady Theodora's successor and to see to the extension of our decades-long arrangement. If I may continue for you.
The prefect steps forward, dragging her feet slightly.
As per the decree of Theodora von Valancius Ord 037/N, the representatives of the Adeptus Administratum and the Adeptus Arbits are sanctioned to use the Palace of Justice, oversee tithe collection in the Protectorate, and review any and all cases of tithe avoidance, tithe exceedance, or other irregularities. These rights have been formalized in numerous pacts and statutes under the main decree. Considering your new position, you may have yet to acquaint yourself with all these documents. You are the successor to Lady Theodora, whose alliance with our two sacred organizations forever glorified her as a rogue traitor closely tied to the executors of Holy Terra's will. And we as representatives of the Adeptus Administratum and the Adeptus Arbits must verify that you are able to maintain this alliance that has brought such repute to your dynasty.
The prefect scrutinizes you as if trying to estimate your proportions and weight.
That is why we have arrived in person, as the present circumstances have provided us with a chance to see if your intentions concord with those of the late von Valancius.
What are those circumstances?
The prefect's lips contort into a twist.
Our work has been disrupted by unforeseen setbacks regarding communication and transportation. As our requisitioned assets were not adequately prepared, we have lost some of our personnel and resources as a result. The arbitrators are too short-handed to perform all the duties expected of them. Since they first arrived in the Expanse, their numbers, limited from the outset, have only continued to dwindle. After analyzing the situation in accordance with Amendment FS/8924 to Decree Ord 037/N, we have decided to notify you of a tithe violation committed by one of the worlds in the region. This regrettable lapse must be rectified as quickly as possible.
The old woman shivers and rubs her augmented hands together with an unnerving creak.
I will carry forth the responsibility taken by Lady Theodora. I offer you my help.
An arbitrator will be assigned to you for increased security. Proctor and Thar, front and center.
The marshal's voice thunders over the arbitrator ranks, and Solomon Anthar marches over to your throne, his cybermastiff at his heel.
Thank you for your support. I will go to Teresa as soon as I can. Go to...
The Emperor protects.
The marshal makes the sign of the Aquila in a motion so sharp that you can practically hear it cutting the air. The prefect adjusts her ocular lenses with a weary sigh.
And once again, no specifics given, of course. And my reports? Nobody ever stops to think.
She quickly catches herself and offers you a bow.
What? There's a merchant? There's a merchant?
A finely dressed man greets you with an incredibly radiant smile. His meticulously polished jaw augmentation reflects the palace's interior as sharply as a mirror.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lusarius Carmela, a collector of curiosities. Perhaps your lordship will find something useful among my offerings.
That is a beautiful eagle. What's its name?
His polished jaw shining, Lusarius extends his hand toward the bird, a hand likewise made of shiny metal.
Her name is Aquila. As soon as I saw her, I knew a creature of such proud grace simply must be properly taken care of.
With a shrill cry, the eagle stabs her benefactor's metal palm with her beak. The Dogmatic groans, while the merchant is still smiling as he modestly puts his hand back into his clothes and out of sight.
Apologies. Aquila is still getting used to my replacement extremity. She liked the old one better.
Judging by Aquila's displeased look, the bird's fondness for her owner's original extremity was of an alimentary rather than affectionate nature.
Point out to his card. Was your friendship with Aquila the reason you needed those Dogmatics?
You are exceptionally observant.
The man laughs softly and melodiously, then shakes his head.
Developing a friendship with such a noble creature is a thorny path, and after a moment of especially profound disagreement I had to have my hand replaced. But this...
Lusarius touches his jaw implant, his pride evident.
This was purely for the beauty of the thing. I used to be passionate about finding rare Dogmatics, and could not resist having them installed, even if they were made by, shall we say, not purely righteous hands, but the fine craftsmanship. The razor-sharp outlines. Please keep this a secret from the Adeptus Mechanicus. I know the Red Priests don't condone things like that.
What kind of curiosities do you
Lasrius
send?
points to his eagle, still smiling.
Equipment for noble cyber assistance, of course. The demand is modest, as few in the Imperium can afford such luxury, but I am glad to have found my calling.
Judging by his expensive attire and ostentatious augmatics, Lasrius's wealth is unlikely to stem directly from his curiosity business. He came here following his heart, it seems, and not his greed.
I want to see what curiosities you have. Okay, okay. Analytic. Through the skull. Has a dogmatic adherence once the server skull swarm. Explorate 5 abilities in total. Okay. When the eagle starts shooting, adjacent enemy must pass. Otherwise, perplexed cyber eagle deals 100 more damage to perplexed targets. Okay, death grip. Whenever the sign, it gains 100 stacking damage until the end of combat. Okay, so we have that one. Perception and deals 100%. While soaring, the overseer gains critical for range attack. Critical damage to obstructed enemies. Okay. Familiar upgrade kit. 50. Okay, so we're close to that. Don't need to sell anything for you. You are already. What?
The curiosity merchant's smile has, or so it seems, never left his face even for a minute since you last spoke.
I'm the rogue trader. I seek the rarest curiosities. Do you have anything else of the sort?
My collection will offer you the biggest and broadest choice in all the expanse. However, even a devoted enthusiast like myself has his limits. There is a certain captain who owns a unique protocol, a family heirloom, which he has refused to sell to me. His ship is called the Renegade's Fall. Perhaps you can chart a path to his hoarded treasure. I will send you the coordinates of the place where we last met.
The merchant bows, still smiling. The light makes his prosthetic jaw sparkle.
Cabela is Cabela is over here. Let's go to Cabela. Okay, Cabela. You're standing there, huh? Okay. You're being like that, huh? Okay, fair enough. Apprehend, gain 10 more strength. If the cybermassive adjacent to an enemy at the end of the Overseer's turn, the Overseer gain 1 resolution. And if the Overseer's heretical gains... I don't really find heretical builds interesting right now. We are going full dogmatic. To the point where we have actually... the ones that actually... Mundo Valentius? What? Do I literally get teleported to the beginning of, like, the walk? By that, if so...
Terrible news from Dragonus, Lord Captain. A subsidiary hive city, Scipion 84 to 249, has been destroyed in a series of cascading failures. Production has halted, and millions of people have broken their vows of obedience and are fleeing. Many of them are perishing in the wastelands and overloading the transport lines leading to neighboring hives. The surrounding residential sectors are becoming increasingly agitated by the influx of refugees. What is your directive regarding the distribution of these refugees?
What is the cause of the catastrophe?
It is still unclear. The noble houses are casting blame on one another. Agents of the esteemed Achilles Scalander stationed in Scipion 84-249 died heroically while trying to save the population from this disaster. Their final reports mentioned some vulnerabilities in the industrial sectors of the lower hive but did not go into further detail. All your servants are currently too busy dealing with the consequences of the crisis to investigate its causes.
What do my advisors say?
The death of Achilles' agents troubles me. It may not be a coincidence. Until the causes of the disaster can be concretely established, I would avoid letting refugees into other hives. There may be saboteurs among them. I recommend setting up prohibitive cordons, where the refugees can be contained in the wastelands between the hives. The Emperor bids us to face the often cruel strokes of fate with dignity. If the other hives do not wish to accept the unfortunate victims of this tragedy, then let the victims themselves teach those living in the hives a lesson in resilience and humility. I'm sure that the Ecclesiarchy will aid the refugees in constructing camps to survive out in the wastelands and establish a community of proud desert-dwelling martyrs. Such harsh conditions will be a crucible of fortitude and fearlessness, this tragedy a feat of spirit. The noble houses are trying to wash their hands of this. How predictable. And yet, it is their duty to see to it that the planet meets its tithe obligation and brings glory and revenue to the treasury in your absence. Let the aristocrats see to the refugees and not stop until every last one of them has been put to work.
Yeah, we're Argenta, work camps, yes.
He who dares to remain deaf to the pleas of the destitute shall be branded a traitor to the faith. Large labor settlements were set up around the ruins of Scipion 84-249, and the refugees from the wastelands and neighboring hives have been rounded up there. In the harsh wastelands scorched with industrial poison, with only a bare modicum of food and clean water, the settlement residents have begun the arduous and dangerous task of rebuilding their fallen home. Many of the Ecclesiarchy's priests sought to share in this burden with the poor souls, coming to their villages and preaching to them about the righteousness of hard work. Some priests have even chosen to stay in the camps permanently, where the desert cults of Aconite martyrs have begun to gather around them, glorifying the Lord Captain for granting them the right to suffer for the glory of the God Emperor.
Valencia's Palace, okay. Okay, so what are we doing here? We lose a profit factor, we gain 3 times the people. We also gain complacency, efficiency, and security in all places. We gain 2 profit factor, complacement. Rogue Trader gains 5+ to all their skills. That's actually really good. We go 1+ profit factor, we lose a security, we ×1 weapons mechanisms. Okay. So that would mean we are 2 efficiency, 4 complacency, and 2 security here. Actually getting a efficiency there, 4 complacency. What was it? You wanted complacency and efficiency to be 4+. I need to kind of go for that one then, I guess. Yeah, I think we're going that one. More people. More people. More people. No. Oh. More people just there. Okay, Doctrine, Efficiency, Sell it. Fellowship of the Void, not interested. Not interested in that one either. That one is a lot more doable, I guess. We're a lot closer to that one at least. Security, Navy rep. Fellowship of the Void rep. Escort ship. Okay. Honestly, I think this against pirates, scrap from winning battles. Guilds. One of them each: Shield of the Emperor or Filth of the Expanse. It's a, yeah, those. Okay, fair enough. I'm just like, why the fuck am I not able to do that? So that means we get mechanisms. Adeptus Arbites, Imperial Navy. Heroics Acts and they recover all their wounds. Ooh, that's actually good. Here, all allies gain 5 melee damage and 20% damage of opportunity. The Seasons of Wars. Nothing here is screaming religion. Shield of the Emperor. That's what we're going for here. Here is one of those questions we need to ask ourselves which one actually is better for us. We don't have any rep in Casbalicans at all. So I think we're going to go 2 plus profit factor, 3 plus profit factor, but we also get more weapons here. Yeah. It's a tough one. And I think we are going to do this. We are now going to head... Okay, so we have Visit the Forgotten Twin System, Twin Star System, Spoils of Prudence. Okay, so what is it we have here? Go to Teresa. Go to Teresa. Go to Teresa. Choir Mountain has out. Message.
Adeonathus 11.
Adeonathus 11. I presume we haven't found that one yet. Kiva Gamma. Scout from Vogtver. Forge. We are doing this.
There was a commotion on lower decks. The chief mutant hunter, who is responsible for eliminating heresy in the hold of the void ship, went mad due to the perilous influence of the warp. The officer climbed the parapet above the central accelerator complex and threatened to jump unless the entire crew immediately submitted to a rigorous examination to uncover physical deformities and unholy perversions. After calculating the time and financial cost of the inspection of thousands upon thousands of crew members and consulting the tech priests about the danger of foreign materials getting into the intake of the accelerator complex, the deranged mutant hunter was graciously allowed to proceed with ending his life in the desired manner.
That's not good. That's not good at all. The mutant hunter is so desperate he kills himself.
Lord Captain, we have received a vox cast from that area. The signal quality is rather poor, but the meaning is clear. The world is expecting your lordship's arrival. Great festivities have been arranged, and a delegation led by the planetary governor is ready to give you a welcome worthy of an honored guest.
Scrap. Don't mind if I do. Bam.
Amid the lifeless rocks and lava lakes, the ship's augurs have detected something resembling buildings. There is something off with their outlines, but their presence, in and of itself, suggests there may be some valuables to
Some scouting.
The scouts are able to discern symbols of the Imperium on the buildings. Deformed and fused together by high temperatures, the ore mining structures tell a sad story. Centuries ago, the planet and all its riches perished beneath the radiance of the system's expanding sun.
Ah, too bad. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Oh, we need him with us. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. We're picking him instead of Argenta. I like Argenta, but her skills right now is not what we need, to put it easily. Servitors are playing music.
A richly dressed man riding a sinewy horse breaks off from the procession. When he approaches, you immediately notice a strange detail. The man's face is pinned to his head with precious fastenings that stretch the skin across his skull.
Celestial guests, there is no higher honor for us than to extend our hospitality to such noble eminences. His Celestial Highness the Rogue Trader, and an illustrious judicator of the Imperium. All of that Syrah clamors, trembles, and cheers. Rule to the fair-faced, governor of that Syrah, at your service.
Thank you for your courteous welcome. However, we have come here to address grave concern.
But of course, your Celestial Highness. It would be my pleasure to discuss whatever topic you have in mind. That said, you have had such long and perilous journey behind you. Like any self-respecting host, I must first propose.
A smaller figure steps out of the rider's shadow, dressed in the motley attire of a court fool and wearing a sneering mask.
My name is Bluff. I am Lord Rueldu's good mood. I tickle his governorship with well-spouted jests and itty-bitty gossip. And now, I merrily doff my cap to our celestial lords and ladies and hand them this here key to that Syrah as a token of our boundless loyalty.
The fool bows and offers you his gift.
Your servant often interrupt the ruler's conversation without permission, Governor? Yeah, accept the gift.
The fool parts with his offering and then jumps away with an irritating giggle.
Being the paragon of grace that he is, would my celestial lord, perhaps, also deign to feast his ears on the latest that Syrian gossip to go with my gift?
Look at the governor.
The governor's heavy gold-stitched jacket adds a certain presence to his figure, but it cannot hide how poor of a rider he is. The way his boots dig into the horse's sides, his hands fiddling with the reins, his trembling fingers, all speak of nervousness and a lack of control.
Tell me your gossip, then.
Well, slap Mike rocks. Fine, then, listen to this. One-Eye, terror of the common man, went out a-thieving one day. He sneaks into a hut, itching to fill up his sack, and what sees he? A scary big shadow on the floor. He turns around, and right behind him, a giant. A monster. With hands like imperial columns. It grabs him by the throat and starts beating the air out of him like he's a ball of dough. Turns out, he's popped by Merjitha's place, and she used to work the bone mill no worse than 10 men could when she was young. The fellow's been one eye ever since. And who, is he glad he's not one arm or one leg?
Having finished his nonsensical tale, the fool erupts into acerbic giggling.
Overlord announced the proposed visit of these. Yeah.
Abelard clears his throat.
His Lordship Harold von Valancius, inheritor of the greatest protectorate of the Coronis Expanse and bearer of the Sacred Warrant, has graced that Sierra with his presence in order to discuss matters pertaining to this planet's tithe. Enough. According to Data Protocol Calixus Sigma UX 11-4, this Mu-class planet, type Feudal, estimare rating E874, with an assigned tithe grade of Solutio Extremis, has not provided its due tithe amount in full. You have violated the Lex and are hereby under investigation. You are to present all related customs reports and shipping manifests. Immediately.
The proctor's voice carries no emotion, and Glato silently bares his teeth, completing the image of the implacable hand of justice that has arrived on Thasera.
I am most flattered by your attention, esteemed Judicator, and by this opportunity to serve the Imperium with even greater dedication than before. Speaking of dedication, we are already conducting a thorough inspection to see which scribe it was that bungled the tithe calculation. Fear not, the scoundrel shall soon be. Excuses are the hallmark of the guilty. Do not make your situation worse, Governor.
Ruoldo clasps his hands together and says meekly.
Of course, Master Judicator, I will provide you with all the documents as soon as our internal review is complete. I assure you it won't take long, and the report itself will be exhaustive.
You heard a proctor take us somewhere where we can have... No, I'm just going to glare at him. Just glare at him.
Daunted by your silence, the governor squirms nervously in his saddle.
Well, in that case, please proceed to the castle. All of that Sierra has been awaiting your arrival, busily preparing the finest dishes and entertainments in your honor, so I fear it may be challenging for you to avoid attention. Let us have a court lady accompany you.
A thin woman emerges into the torchlight, looking at you with a mixture of fear and awe. Her diminutive figure is practically drowning in her velvet and silk dress, and a resplendent necklace of blue stone adorns her neck.
Maeve, my celestial lord, at your service.
Solomon leans closer and says in a lowered voice.
Based on my experience, I would say we have been assigned a spy under a pretense of generosity, but this is a good thing. We will use this young woman as our source of information about the world. For now, it would be wise to play along and question her thoroughly once we are away from prying ears.
Very well. I would like to see the place this place has to offer.
I can tell by what I'm hearing that our executioner has already lit up the Phasmophorius, ready to give the condemned a warm welcome. Which means the governor's official whisper collector, that's me, has a whole lot of important business to get to. And so, I must leave you now, good sirs and ladies, lest I miss out on a hot batch of juicy tales. Terribly pleased to meet you all. Honored Judicator.
Bluff grasps Solomon's hand and gives it a vigorous shake. Before you can even blink, the cybermastiff beside him sinks its teeth into Bluff's forearm, jerking it back and forth in a fury. The attack lasts only for a moment, but when Glato lets go, the fool's limb is already torn to shreds. With a cry, Solomon ruffles Glato's neck and turns to you.
Feudal worlds are rarely known for their bureaucratic precision. Reconnaissance on the ground will tell us more than any report hastily scribbled down by these blockheads. I suggest we attend this trial and see how the laws of this planet are enforced.
Let's go then. We must not miss the biggest local spectacle.
It's not a question of preference, but of what might help the investigation. The execution will gather a crowd, and we in turn will gather information. That will prove useful, considering how eager everyone was to make their exit.
Solomon looks at the crowd staring at you in wonder and trepidation.
So, Celestial Lord, your coming is a historic event for these people. They will be watching your every step, and your actions may well transform their lives on this underdeveloped world. It's him. The ruler of the stars who descended on an iron bird.
This is our chapel where we pray to the Emperor, the holder of the key to all destinies. The bell in its tower can ring so loud, it makes your ears pop.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
This Chronicle of Fate.
The Chronicle of Fates, by Gorgorius Fault. Chapter 1. Let these instructions enlighten all who walk in my footsteps. He that holdeth the key permits none but his most faithful to change their fates, and I, the eminent Gorgorius Fault, have no right to fail him. This my present work will describe how a soul becomes purified and the rituals required to prepare it for its momentous turn of fate, these being things that any servant of his who intends to break the shackles of their former life will have to undergo.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Ouch. Eagle. Ebonite. Targets hit with this sword suffer a number of static charge equal to damage dealt by the attack. When a creature with the stacks is killed, all creatures adjacent except the wielder suffer shock damage equal to the static charge. Well, that sounds really good, honestly.
Let us walk this path to the end.
The Chronicle of Fates, by Gorgorius Fault. Chapter 2. It befits any servant of his to thank daily the Emperor, him that holdeth the key, for the lot given them in life. As I have thanked him with my writings for thousands of moon lives, so, too, do I thank him now with the fetters that are preparing my soul for its new destiny. The rules of this service are simple. Day after day, I reverently carry with me the glass fetters, not daring to break them. Some believe that merely keeping them by one's bedside is enough to perform the sacrament. This is a lie, perpetuated by the slothful and the faint of heart.
Is that free? Yep.
The Chronicle of Fates, by Gorgorius Fault. Chapter 3. The sacrament has been performed. I felt the cage open its gates, I felt him that holdeth the... As you approach, the nobles bow gracefully. Their sewn-on faces are wrapped tightly around their skulls, and their eyes gleam with earnest subservience. One dares to address you.
O Celestial Lord, grace us with your regard. When my brother and I heard of your arrival, we immediately sought to surprise you with an exceptional gift. The ancient scrolls tell of a wonder, a mechanical sage by the name of Kajikar. It knows the answers to all questions, can make other machines do its bidding, and may even predict the future. My brother and I have borne many a hardship, but we managed to acquire this magic contraption for our much-cherished guest.
The box in front of you, presumably the Kajikar they speak of, exudes a strong odor of ritual oils. Made of thin planks, it is covered in so many purity seals that it seems to be held together by them alone. A stack of flimsy rough paper lies atop it, and there is a mica panel with malachite buttons attached to the front. A thin slit is visible among the buttons. A bellard sighs heavily and leans over to you.
Sometimes, when information reaches the more backward worlds, it undergoes strange metamorphoses in the minds of unfortunate and regrettably parochial lay people. Have mercy, Lord Captain. They probably have been trying to please you.
After a chronoturn of heavy silence, Pasquale finally intones.
I am registering an act of imitation of sanctity. This cultural phenomenon is typical of underdeveloped tribes. I also anticipate the discovery of cave pictograms dedicated to the divine arrival of the more advanced units.
Listen to the sound coming from the box.
There is a barely audible breathing coming from the box. Whoever is inside wants very much not to be noticed. Glato stalks toward the box and bares his fangs, while Solomon frowns grimly at the device.
Really? Then again, what else could you expect from this ignorant world?
Unseal the box and let the poor soul out at once.
Who? What poor soul? I do not.
The young nobleman addressing you withers under the scathing gaze of his partner.
As you command, my celestial lord. Forgive us. We wished only to delight you by reproducing an otherworldly miracle we had read about in an ancient chronicle.
I will inform the governor of your stunt. I hope a few dozen lashes will teach you some respect to the Omnissiah.
We dare not defy the celestial lord.
We got fucking dog boxes? Okay, bloody sacraments. Area of attacks with this maul creates smoke cloud. All creatures that enter the area must pass a toughness test. On fail, blind for 2 rounds. On strength test. Oh.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Unlocked.
This laboratory is blessed with multifunctionality.
The blacksmith has somehow managed to forge shells and casings. These do not belong on a feudal world, but there is no doubt as to what they are.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
A soldier would have been disciplined for such a performance. An expected result.
Okay, we got a Raven mark now. The enemies affected by the relay psychic powers must pass the agility test and become slow. If the target is already slow, it must pass the agility resistance test with a bonus to 20 target immunity warp damage equal to 5% of the wounds.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
The enormous gate is locked fast. The horses glance at you with an odd curiosity. One of them pulls its muzzle closer and clacks its teeth, almost too greedily and hungrily for a harmless herbivore.
This gate leads straight to the main square. Let us hurry there.
Fatigue. Whoa, oh, we missed that one? Okay, what's in here? Nothing of interest. What does the cleric have to say?
I can't believe what I'm seeing. People from the stars, walking on our planet.
Okay. So, before we do anything, we're going to save here. We're going to call it for today. I've been going at it for almost 3 hours now. What do we actually... Each of them... 7 massive apprehend deals more damage? Okay, yeah. I have 2 here. Toughness equal to block, arbitrator, law and order. That is the one. Arbitrator can wield 2-handed shotguns in one hand. What are you actually good at. You don't have that much awareness. Your perception is decent. Your agility is fairly good. Your ballistic skill is great. Ballistic skill it is then. And what do we have here? Medicaid, awareness. Coercion is the only thing that sticks out for you. Persuasion is fairly good as well. You actually have the highest demolition skill. That's actually really interesting. The only other one that actually would have fairly high demolition skill would be Agatha. Okay. Military, how high? I'm almost full now. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Trader, 2 random allies start a combat with temporary wounds equal to their own resolve. Okay. I think you can get up to 2. It is, right? At the first turn, every combat rogue trader gains +2 icon reflection, additional movement speed. Okay. We are going to head back to the void ship just to heal up because Abelard ran through mines on a feudal planet, which makes me really concerned more than anything else. Also, we're going to have a look at comparing this sword, parry, to this sword, because that might actually be a lot better. Has the 10 parry. I think you have a new sword, Gibella. The one-handed mace shove. 15 to 19, so it's worse. How does it look? Oh, it's an incense hammer. Okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. You. That was the one I looked at. Cyber Eagle, Temperance Perception, it's 15, I lose a bit, but deal 150 more damage. The Cyber Eagle gains 14 dodge against obstructed enemies in melee attack. If the Cyber Eagle dodges the obstructed enemy's melee attack, the enemy immediately hits a random adjacent ally with lowest AP cost attack, guaranteeing a critical hit. Okay. When the Cyber Eagle starts soaring, adjacent enemy must have... I think that one is an upgrade. Genuinely, I think that one is an upgrade. Cyber Mastiff. Apprehend, strength, weapon skill. 100% damage, 5 strength, 5 weapon skill. Whenever it falls unconscious, it gains a stacking 100 damage dealt until the end of combat. That means we kind of need to sacrifice the dog, and I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. No. That's going to be it for me today. I want to wish everyone a good day. I'm just going to say when we did the changes. Yeah. I'm probably going to be back. I don't know. I think we're doing Baldur's Gate tomorrow, so we will see. Good night, everyone.